Less than a week after World War I started, French bombers would be deployed to destroy Zeppelin hangars. And shortly after that, a gunner on one of them would destroy another plane, marking history's first air to air kill. This was only the beginning of aerial warfare. By 1915, full fighter squadrons were being formed and deployed. What started as one on one encounters ended up becoming battles of air superiority. Over time, famous aces such as Manfred von Richthofen, aka the Red Baron, and Thomas Motorshed would make names for themselves. Not all inventions from this era were great, however. While bomber planes were showing signs of success, dedicated Zeppelins appeared to be effective at first, but the British soon discovered they were weak to incendiary ammunition, which was great for lighting the hydrogen on fire. They became a liability and showed that planes and fast moving aircraft were the way to go rather than large, rigid airships. Eventually, during the interwar period, many changes were made to aircraft. They were constructed from aluminum rather than canvas and wood. They could be mounted with more weapons, and their planes could go faster and higher than before. However, what was really the most important innovation wouldn't be proven until World War II. It began when Brigadier General William Billy Mitchell wanted to prove that aircraft could bring a new form of naval warfare to be used to sink ships. Despite both the Navy and the Army disagreeing with him, Mitchell proved the concept was possible by sinking the SMS Osterfriesland. During the war in the Pacific, however, this is when the idea would really be proven true, with the first instance being the Battle of the Coral Sea, where Allied aircraft managed to not only damage but sink several Japanese warships, and was also the first time where navies directly fought each other without directly seeing each other. Secondly, and also possibly the most famous example, was during the Battle of Midway, June 4th, 1942. The United States Navy sent waves of TDB torpedo bombers and SBD dive bombers to attack the Japanese fleet after they had successfully conducted an attack against the U.S. base on Midway. The resulting raid saw the destruction of most Japanese aircraft carriers, and what seemed to be the sole survivor, Hiru, was later spotted by a scout and destroyed in a second bombing run. A similar fate fell upon Germany's great battleship, the Bismarck. After an intense naval engagement, it was left damaged, only to be finished off by British torpedo bombers shortly after the war began. Over in the war in Europe, we saw the first major battle conducted with only aircraft. The Battle of Britain was Germany's attempt to knock Britain out of the war without having to launch a dedicated invasion. However, the battle went in favor of the British for many factors, such as they were able to bail out and land in friendly territory and could be sent up in the air in the next day, whereas the Luftwaffe, once a plane was shot down, the pilot was gone. This resulted in a British victory and was a huge morale boost for the British in a time where all hope seemed lost. Over the course of the war, major bombing campaigns would be launched against all Axis countries, resulting in widespread destruction unlike anything seen before. Cities like Dresden were burned to the ground, and Tokyo became the most heavily damaged city during the war.
The target is Dresden. It was being used to pump German troops into counterattacks against the Russian army not many miles to the east. This strike put a stop to that. The night sky is pitted with aircraft, varicolored target markers, and the newest German ack device, a scarecrow designed to burst and look like a plane exploding after a direct hit. Static electrical discharge caused by intense cold mars these magnificent bombing shots.
Over time, the Axis became more desperate. Japan started a program where pilots would volunteer, and sometimes in quotations, volunteer. They would intentionally fly their planes into American ships, hoping to cause widespread damage to the American fleet and hopefully persuade the Americans to not invade the Japanese homeland. Germany would try using wonder weapons to win the war, and one such weapon was the ME 262.
What was that? What the hell was that? It went by like we were standing still. Blue leader to group. Get off the air. Going by at 2 o'clock. What the hell is it?
What is often considered the first successful jet fighter in history, the 262 was harder to hit, chase, and destroy. The most successful strategy wasn't even to engage it at all, it was rather to destroy it before it even got a chance to take off. However, despite its effectiveness, it came too late to change the course of the war, and ultimately was captured when Germany was defeated. However, the advantages of the 262 were clear. This led to every major military adopting jet fighters, and ever since they have made the backbone of every major air force. Since then, jets are still in use today, and despite advancements we've seen in Vietnam and the Gulf War, it was the world wars that really defined aerial warfare.